A new report is providing fresh information on exactly what the indictment against Donald Trump contains. According to an exclusive garnered by Yahoo News, the former president will face 34 felony counts of falsification of records related to the payoff made to porn star Stormy Daniels. The arrest will officially happen on Tuesday or today, a fact already known given Trump traveled to New York on Monday to prepare to surrender himself. This from Yahoo News. Quote, Donald Trump will be placed under arrest on Tuesday and informed that he has been charged with 34 felony counts for falsification of business records, according to a source who has been briefed on the procedures for the arraignment of the former president. A New York City police arrest report summarizing the charges against Trump will then be prepared and entered into the court system before he is led into a courtroom to be formally arraigned on the charges, none of which are misdemeanors, unquote. Okay, so the number of counts is probably more for show than substance, similar to this entire situation we find Donald Trump in. In the end, if Trump is convicted, he still would face the prospect of little jail time, perhaps only receiving probation. Now that's assuming DA Alvin Bragg can get his novel theory to elevate this to a felony past the judge. It's perfectly possible Trump's legal team, which is actually formidable this go-around, wins the argument, and the entire case is tossed before it even goes to trial. Now, as to whether Democrats will get their iconic mugshot they are longing for, the answer there appears to be no. Bragg has decided it's not necessary. Here's another excerpt from the Yahoo article. Quote, but the source said Donald Trump will not be put into handcuffs, placed in a jail cell, or subject to a mugshot. Typical procedures even for white-collar defendants, until a judge has weighed in on pretrial conditions. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office, which has been consulting with the Secret Service and New York City court officials, concluded that there was no reason to subject the former president to handcuffs or a mugshot. How compassionate Mr. Bragg is. But not really. You see, that's actually a coy political play by Bragg. He knows that Trump wants that mugshot just as much as the talking heads on CNN want it. That would be a marketing boon for him. Bragg apparently wants to deny him that small victory, and I'm sure the judge involved is going to do his best to keep things tamped down as well. Hilariously, after this report leaked to Yahoo News, Trump took to Truth Social to suggest that Bragg should indict himself. The Donald said, quote, whoa, District Attorney Bragg just illegally leaked the various points and complete information on the pathetic indictment against me. He continued, I know the reporter, and so, unfortunately, does he. This means that he must immediately be indicted. Now, if he wants to clean up his reputation, he will do the honorable thing and, as district attorney, indict himself in all caps. He will go down in judicial history, and his Trump-hating wife will be, I am sure, very proud of him, unquote. Now, folks, this is Trump at his best. He's not accusing Ron DeSantis, a fellow Republican, of being a pedophile or ranting about McConnell's wife, who he has a weird obsession with. He's just taking shots at Democrats and using his sense of humor in the process. I wish he'd stick to that more often. It reminds me of simpler times, before the insanity of the current primary season kicked off. Of course, what's funny to me isn't really relevant to his legal troubles, now is it? I was listening to an expert on the novel theory being used in this case on Monday evening, and it reminds me of just how stupid this whole situation is. It's truly one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in a legal sense, but the problem remains that this is Manhattan, a liberal bastion with an incredibly tainted jury pool. If Trump can't get a change of venue, something that is rarely given, he might be convicted no matter what the evidence says. So let's just say everything we know so far is the basis of the case. If this is all predicated on the actions, the charges would probably run concurrent, even if he was convicted, and I'm not saying he will be, which would mean they would be served at the same time, if that makes any sense. Let me explain this another way. So if you get a year as a sentence for each charge, all 34, you would only serve 1 year in total if they all ran concurrently. And as a first offender of a Class E felony, he could theoretically face 1.5 to 4 years. But generally, you would not get that. As the Yahoo report notes, quote, "No one gets jail time for that as a first offender," unquote, said a New York law enforcement official. Well, as they say, we shall see. But if current history is any indicator, this shit show will indeed play out, and I'll be here to keep you current on the actual worthy news coming out of this case.
Victor, we've all pointed out the fact that this is unprecedented, but set the scene of what this says about the state of our republic and what it says about just us as a country.
Well, it means elections and politics are going to be settled by other means, and that's lawfare. What this does now is it's going to unleash every wannabe local or state prosecutor who wants to be a celebrity or has a political axe to grind or is in service for the national party to go after ex-presidents or anybody. And I mean, it's going to be a red-blue state divide. Any type of business that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden conducted that may be questionable in a red state, a local prosecutor could do this to embarrass the president. And when he comes out of office, there's going to be a lot of people go after him. And is this the type of tit for tat we want? We got to remember that they're destroying block by block the foundation of this country, the constitutional foundation. Mm-hmm. Mr. Trump was the first president to be impeached twice. We know now from his call and subsequent information about the Biden family syndicate, there was legitimate concern about their relationship with Ukraine and Hunter Biden's activity. He was the first president to be tried as a private citizen when he was out of office. He was the first president to have his home residence raided after he was out of office. And now he's the first president to be brought up on these charges, which most legal experts believe are superfluous. But more importantly, this is, if you put it in a longer context, I mean, this is not FDR having sexual relations with Lucy Mercer in the White House. It's not Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky in the White House. It's not JFK and Mimi Alford in the White House. This is 16 years ago, and with some private matter that may or may not have taken place and was dragged up to continue this process. And when you look back at all of these incidents, Pete, there was no Russian collusion. The Hunter laptop Biden was not Russian disinformation. That was used to affect an election on its eve. There was the Mar-a-Lago raid was not a unique instance of a president taking out classified documents, because Joe Biden, without the authority to declassify them, put them in at least three residents with much less security. So in each one of these cases, in retrospect and post facto, there was no there. And so what are we doing? We're just trying to say that Donald Trump is coarse, or he's extraordinarily different, or he's not part of the establishment, and we're going to destroy him. And what it's going to pose an existential question to the Republicans. What do they do? They're the adult in the room. Do they have to reply tit for tat? Do they have to tear up the State of the Union address on national TV? Yeah. Do they have to deny minority representation on committees? Do they have to always threaten to get rid of the filibuster to bring in 2 new states? Is that what we've come to? Destroy the republic just for them to stop? It's really scary. It's scary.
Most of this came by way of redstate.com. If you'd like to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.